have the greatest pleasure of having Umar here today from Deutsche Bank. Umar, can you please introduce yourself to the rest of the world?
Thank you for having me here. It's an immense pleasure. My name is Umar. I head up network architecture and strategy for Deutsche Bank globally. And it's just fantastic to be at Cisco Live. It's been such a long time.
Yeah, awesome. Welcome, and thanks for being here. So recently, Deutsche Bank has gone through a transformation and moving to a more open standards VXLAN EVPN deployment. Can you tell us a little bit about this transformation?
Sure. So first of all, being a large bank, we've got thousands of endpoints, 100,000 users. We've got to support. It's not easy to lift something like this that's been built on our data center fabrics that we currently have. It's not easy just to lift and shift. So there's a number of challenges that are associated with that. First of all, when you're changing this type of platform, you can't have any downtime. It's really important that you don't break anything. You do it, you're in trouble, right? So your migration path has to be seamless. The other thing is a skills transition. When we move to EVPN, we've got to make sure our folks understand what's happening under the hood. They need to know what the protocols look like and how they behave. Without that information, it's going to be really hard to troubleshoot. And lastly, design validation. You've got to make sure it works.
Yeah.
Putting it together, making sure it interacts with our ecosystem. We have firewalls, load balancers. If it's not going to work, right, and you're not tested it thoroughly, then what's the point of rolling it out? So along with that comes where Cisco stepped in. So with the Cisco SEs and the Cisco customer experience folks, they've given us their knowledge. They've got fantastic knowledge from all the years that you've been helping customers develop. So we kind of look for the gotchas. And the maturity of the Nexus platform, it's been serving us for a long time. We're a Cisco house, and from that perspective, we're changing a little bit of the secret software source that sits on top to make it even better from that perspective. And we're learning from them. And it's not a vendor customer, it's a partnership. And that's what you're doing to help us. Absolutely.
Really appreciate you saying that. Tell us a little bit about the drivers behind the strategy to moving to an open standards-based solution.
So when I first joined Deutsche Bank back in 2021, it was COVID times. And the fabric that we have is it's great on a GUI setup, but we wanted to have something a little bit more malleable, something that we could kind of control, take ownership of our own destiny. So with that, open standards is fantastic. Since I've been at Cisco Live, it's all been about interoperability. That's been the word that I hear all the time, right?
And simplicity.
And simplicity and scale and all the other bits, security. But those two things come hand in hand, right? So what we need to make sure is it is an RFC-based architecture. It's open standards. Everyone knows where everything fits. And with that, we need to have operational transparency. When you've got hundreds of thousands of switches, you can't have folks logging into every single thing to see what's going on. They need a transparent way to operate, a transparent way to troubleshoot. We need to drop our mean time to innocence. We have to improve it really, because that is quite key for us. And we need to have that decentralized control plane. For us, each box has to know the view of the network. I think controller is fantastic. It has its use, but for us, we want to move away from a centralized control plane to have everything autonomous. That's where your products are fantastic in this space. They more than do the job. So this is what we're looking for.
Definitely. So at Cisco Live this week, we announced Nexus One. And Nexus One is our way of bringing open networking across heterogeneous fabrics. And with the recent announcement, we extended this openness across the entire stack, giving our customers the flexibility to run ACI, NX, or even open APIs with our Nexus operating models, one of which you are using, which is Nexus Dashboard. So tell us a little bit about Nexus Dashboard and your experience with it so far.
It's invaluable because the best network team isn't the team that fixes stuff quickest. It's the one who knows about it first.
Yeah.
Right? To do that, you've got insights from software and hardware telemetry that the dashboard can pick up. So if there's a problem in the network, click a few buttons, you can see where things have dropped. So packet loss and packet drops inside the ASIC, inside what's going on based on the hardware telemetry. You can't see that on CLI. You can't see any of that. And it's immeasurable for our mean time to innocence and really trying to get a fast response. So I'll give you an example. We had Cisco massive wireless platform, not just the DC. And with Dashboard, it tells you the experience, what's happening around us, so we can quickly go and resolve. It's helped us so many times. And hopefully it'll keep improving as we go on.
Yeah, and as a network engineer side of the house, having that visibility, as much as we can call end-to-end, is absolutely important for us.
Absolutely. Without that, again, you have to know what's happening first.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't wait for that,
Right.
especially in a bank where heavy
Right.
regulated.
Speaking of being in a bank and with so many users, 100,000 plus users, tell us a little bit about what that scale looks like.
So as we're trying to build out on that scale, EVPN gives us that horizontal scaling platform. It's nice and simple. We can, in our data centers, I wouldn't say over provision, but we've thought about every angle. When we need to expand, we just bring in more spines into our super spine structure. It's a very quick way of deploying.
Like a cookie cutter.
Yeah, it's cookie cutter. And the thing is, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to deploy it. It's functionally, it's operational, and the scale is limited to the pods in which we define. So we create our own scope, and it's manageable. Without that, it kind of becomes a bit harder to see what's going on under the hood.
Yeah, no, great to hear. All right, so looking ahead, how do you see the integration of AI and the advanced automation that you guys already have set up as a foundation?
So I think couldn't get away from the AI word.
I can't, yeah, that's why I'm leaving you with this question.
So AI comes in two guises. We support AI workloads. AI workloads from a perspective that we can snap them onto our fabric. We can bring them in.
Definitely.
We can add some extra features like PFC, ECN, do some magic there, and it becomes a fantastic GPU block. We don't need to change our infrastructure. So from having like the Swiss Army knife of a network, we have that, right?
Yeah.
When we talk about AI, using AI, we'd love to see more, because I know you're baking in more tools, but operationally you must have, we want to know where an SFP would fail, or when you think an issue happen in the network. For example, we eliminate all gray failures by choosing a single ASIC box.
Right.
So we want to know, can AI help us achieve that? So from a workload perspective, we're ready, because we can bolt GPUs on. We can do everything that our business requires us to do within the constraints like Rocky, enabling all these things. But from an operational perspective, we have to have those tools that you're baking into NDFC, which you're bringing on the roadmap. And I think it's only going to get easier for us to troubleshoot.